Imagine for a moment your pits smelling like nothing. You don't stink after you work out. Your teenager's foot odor doesn't exist. How is this possible? It's Lumi. Challenge Lumi to keep you funk-free for 72 hours. Go to uglytruth.com/Lumi. You can pick your favorite smell, the favorite type of applicator or stick or tube or wipe, and you will be amazed by your non-smelly body. uglytruth.com/Lumi. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 543, Stephanie. Ugh. Do you remember 21st
Oh, yeah, that's
September?
my daughter's song.
Well, we're recording on the 21st of September.
Right. My baby's birthday is in 5 days.
I cannot believe it. In fact, this show will drop on her birthday. So happy birthday, Lauren.
Oh, my baby. Oh, happy birthday, my love.
God, she's so perfect.
Perfect. All of our kids are perfect, but
perfect.
every time
If you want to know what
birthdays
perfection is, just let us know. We'll show you.
Right, we'll let you know.
We'll show you what perfection
look
is.
at a picture of our children.
One time I was really emotional with Mackenzie, and I said, "It's just that you're a princess and you're perfect, and no one should mess with you." I was so later. I'm like, okay, I know you're not perfect. I'm not one of those mothers, but you are perfect, okay?
Yeah.
And you are a princess, and I give zero fucks if that's bad to say anymore.
It's not. Why is it bad to say?
It's not. I'm just saying. I'm just, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, to me, our children are perfect, as all mothers should think, by the way, or parents.
Well, I think most of us or all of us have been present at every birth.
I know.
I don't think there is a birth that... I think I missed Tyler's, but that was because I was at work. Remember, I worked at Lumberjack?
It was during the day.
I was literally driving there,
Yep.
and you had him before I showed up at the hospital.
You did.
I was so bummed.
Yep, I remember.
But I was there very soon.
I wasn't in the room with Jeff, but I was there when Jeff was born.
That was, that was
you had
unique.
to have an emergency cesarean, and we were saving the second spot in the room for your husband. So I had to stay with all the stuff.
Completely wimped out at the last minute.
He didn't go in?
No, remember he was going to pass out. He was standing in the doorway and he was turned white as a ghost and he was literally about to...
And then it was too late. I couldn't go in.
Right.
But that's okay.
But I mean, yeah, I had no control over how that happened.
That was insane. That was an insane birth. But anyway, I am on medication because I've been suffering from a migraine for 2 days.
Oh, God.
Because after a very long dry spell... Okay, so if you're a female and you are nowhere near old age, enjoy your youth. Right. Soak it up. Wear sunscreen, moisturize, start your Botox at 30, whatever. Don't wait. Don't think you're going to always look that badass. You won't. Dump the bad boyfriend. Just get on with your life. But on top of that, when you get to a certain age, after you're done having your children, should you choose to have children, you will go through something called perimenopause. Now, we've talked about this at length.
Right.
But I'm in the throes of it because I am no longer 20. And I went 5 months without a period this year.
Oh, wow.
5 goddamn months. I started my period last week.
Oh, no wonder.
And we were just getting ready, which we will talk about later. We were on our way to go out on a date, which we haven't had a date in like a Friday night at home. Hey, you want to go to the movies and a dinner kind of thing?
Yeah. No, you guys went and saw Fast and Furious.
We did, but we didn't do the whole date thing.
Dinner and all that.
We literally dressed up. He was downstairs waiting for me. We did the whole thing.
Oh, God. Okay, carrying big.
Okay. So...
In Sacramento, though, instead of Manhattan.
Exactly. So I pee. I'm like, you know what? Before we leave, let me pee really quick. I peed. I'm like, and all of a sudden Daryl says, God damn it. He goes, what? And I'm like, I'm on the rag. He's like, what? Perfect. I'm like, fuck. And so I had to deal with it. And it was brutal.
Of course it was. You waited 5 months.
Yes.
It had to be a grand finale.
Although I will say this, all the bloating went away from 5 months. And I'm like, what? This is... I'm
God, right?
I feel like an amazing person. I have no bloat and my PMS is gone and, I felt great. I was tired, but I didn't care. Anyway, so my period ends and then I immediately get a migraine because my hormones are in flux.
Yeah, right.
And so, so this morning I took some migraine medicine. So yes, I'm feeling a little unusual today, but I'm hopeful that the migraine medicine is kicked in and it's good and I can get through the day.
You will.
Anyway, speaking of our children, Malia, my baby, turned 21 last week.
Oh my God.
21, Stephanie.
That's all though. I know she's a baby, but at the same time, I'm like, God, she just is turning 21.
Yes. I'm not that old.
Such a blissful age.
I know. So she's already, like,
Literally the best.
She's never home.
Not because you can drink. I just remember.
She hates alcohol, Stephanie.
She does.
She hates
She's
it.
just like Lauren.
So we took her to, Sacramento has a really fun tiki bar. So we went downtown.
Really?
Yes, and I can't think of the name of it right now. It's something bird. And we went down there.
Yeah. I have friends that have been there.
Yes. And so we went down there. I said, well, you hate the taste of alcohol, but you'll probably like slushy drinks.
Yeah.
And they have blended everything at this tiki bar.
Yes.
So we took her and her friend, who's only 20, but she had virgin cocktails, and me and her dad and producer Deb, and then our hairdresser came.
Oh, fun.
And so we all met, because he's literally like less than a block away from there, so he met up with us.
Oh, sweet.
So we all sat there and just had cocktails. So Malia, we literally bought her like 4 cocktails.
Oh, God.
Because she hated them all. And then ultimately she had a strawberry daiquiri, and then she
those are always
added
yum.
her friend's leftover virgin pina colada, and she goes, now this is good.
Oh, wow.
Because she couldn't taste the alcohol.
Okay.
And so one was so bad though, we all tasted it, and I'm like, no, nobody wanted it. So she goes, how's everything? I go, we hate this one, and I gave it back to her, and I'm like, we don't want it. I go, we'll pay for it if you want us to, but we hate it. It's awful.
What was it?
I don't even remember, but it was like a rosewater Ricky. It had like
Ew.
rosewater and 2 different types of alcohol.
Disgust.
Malia picked it though. She's like, I'm gonna try this. And I'm like,
Well, sometimes
okay.
they sound good or they look pretty or whatever. And
It
you're
came
like,
in a really
"Oh,
cute glass.
How can that be bad?" And then you're like, "Oh, it's bad."
It's bad. So we did that on her actual birthday, and then on Friday we were asked if we could leave the home so she could have a party.
What the hell?
And I'm like, well, I appreciate you asking.
You're
And I
right.
said, I'm not leaving the house for the night, but we will go out and come home late if you want. And she's like, yeah. So we went to Costco.
See, you don't get the luxury of doing that until you have your own place.
That's right.
I mean, that was really nice of you to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you want to get your own apartment
Yeah.
and pay your own... Have party away. But I am not leaving my nest.
Well, I was happy to do it because she spent her birthday with her parents.
True.
And I'm like, you know what? It's fine. Malia asked for so little.
Right.
And she does
Oh,
love...
I would have done it too. Are you kidding me? If Jeff would have asked, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, so we went even further because...
But I just can't even imagine, like, me having... When we were growing up, oh my God.
Oh my God. No, we don't have those parents. But anyway, so we did that, and then we go and we have, okay, I have to tell you about this. So we go to this Mexican restaurant, and it's Zocalo, but they have a location.
Oh, I love Zocalo.
Yeah, they have one downtown, and now they have one in Folsom.
Yes.
So we walk in, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that
The
place.
music is so loud.
It is.
And I walk in, and Daryl goes, oh yeah, the reviews say that it's really loud in here. And
And
I'm like, okay, well, they're playing like club music.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Everybody that works there looks like they are little Abercrombie models.
It's like, sir.
Yes. Or there's that sandwich shop there where they only hire hot people.
Oh, yeah. Beach Hut Deli.
Beach Hut Deli.
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get, the girls look like they just got off the beach. They're
Yeah.
wearing these cute little handkerchief tops and mini skirts. And they're
Right.
cute little, they're completely perfect. They look like a bunch of little Malias running around.
Right.
They're like,
Which is, by the way, a really good idea.
they're like, hi. And we're like, hi. They're like, hello, welcome, come in. You know, let's find you a seat. So at Zocalo now, you do the QR code on the menu and you literally order everything on their menu and you order it on your phone.
So you don't even have a waiter. Or
You have several.
server?
They just come and they're like, would you like more chips and salsa? Can I get you anything? Or
Yeah.
if you don't want to do the app, they will take your order.
Right.
If you don't have if you're one of those people that does not have
Or
a
if you're
phone.
ancient. Yeah.
So we're sitting there and I'm like, okay, so I'm adding my order. I'm like, ooh, let's get a picture of margaritas. And I'm figuring out
Their blackberry margaritas are to die
Okay,
for.
I asked Daryl if he wanted to try them. He was absolutely not.
They are so good.
I thought they would be good
They're
too.
delicious. We have a meeting, the Latino caucus that I'm a part of.
Yes.
Well, we have a celebration once a year where we go after work.
Yes.
And we always go to Zocalo. And we always get the blackberry margaritas because they are to die.
Okay, you know what? I'm going back to get one then.
They're fresh. I mean, they muddle the blackberries and everything.
Yeah,
They're
well,
so
it even
good.
says they're like, this is like the OG. Our owner created these. They're super delicious.
And I don't know what tequila, but I always
It's
upgrade.
a premium. You have
I
to
do.
upgrade the premium.
Yeah, I do.
So Daryl's like, well, if we're gonna pay $50 for a pitcher, I want their premium. And he goes, Patron. I go, no, you don't put Patron in there. Get something else. And so he
Like what?
I I don't know. I didn't recognize any of them, but it was good.
What? Oh, I thought Patron was good. No,
Patron is good, but I wouldn't put it in a margarita. I'd sip it.
Oh, I do.
It's a sipping margarita.
Well, I can't drink tequila. Anything. Like, I just...
Well, we did not do well. And they actually, what was great is they had well in parentheses. So you knew, like, this is our well, so if you want something else...
Don't get the shit.
Yeah, and we didn't. Anyway, we were sitting there, and so we're working, we're talking. He goes, oh, man, this chicken with chorizo looks really good. And I'm like, oh, that does look really good. And so I was customizing my enchiladas, and this waiter comes over, server, and he goes, hello, have you ever been to Zocalo before? I'm like, yeah, we've been here before, and we're figuring everything out. He goes, look, if you need assistance with how to order here,
oh no,
I'm happy to help you. And I'm like, okay.
I don't have a cane,
And so he left. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I go, do we look old? I go, are we like, and I'm looking around, I'm like, are we the oldest people here? And I'm looking around because the music's so loud, it's 8:30 at night, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, no, we're not the oldest people here, but we are by far outnumbered by 20-somethings, which is why the music is so loud. They don't want old people in there.
I guess.
They don't have a senior citizen discount. They don't do that shit. They want young,
not the light menu,
hot people there. And so I'm like, understood, but we have money and I'm not going to leave and you're not going to treat me like I'm 100.
Oh my God. I would have been totally offended.
So I turned to Daryl and I'm like, what the fuck was that? He goes, I don't know. That was weird. I'm like, if he comes over here again and acts like that again, I'm knocking him out. And I'm like, I'm not that fucking old asshole.
Tell me.
And you're prematurely balding 20-something. I can fucking see your skull.
This dress.
Yeah, so
I am 50 fucking years old and I will rock this dress.
You know what? I know that I'm not 20 and I'm fine with it, by the way. I've never looked better.
I'm sorry. I don't care what place you're at. That was rude.
It was fucking rude. Like, acting like we're feeble.
Please.
I'm like, are you trying to run me out of here, asshole? Like, I mean, he wasn't being rude and he wasn't being patronizing, but he was clearly
being condescending, but maybe not
He was clearly going, I understand if this is uncomfortable for you. Like, if you don't understand how we order things here. Like, if you don't understand your phone, my phone. Like, I don't understand how to use my fucking phone. I'm like, you know what? I didn't even have anyway.
So was he your main server the whole time?
No, he wasn't. We had some cutie pies that came over and they were like totally, and what was great is they gave zero fucks about it. So they're like, here's your food, bye. And they just like went on their way. And I'm like, see, that's the kind of service I like.
Thank you. I don't like to be coddled and I'd leave me alone.
And on top of it, I got salt on my rim and I hated it.
Oh, you
and I hated it. And it was a lot.
Did you order it without?
I always order without salt. I hate salt on there.
I would have sent it back.
And here's the reason why.
If I'm so fucking old, here, I'm going to send something back.
Hey, you fucked this up. Right? Are you all right? Do you need some assistance on how to understand orders that are being given to you through an app?
I would absolutely say that.
So I wiped most of the salt off, but I took a sip. And the problem with me, it's not that I think it's terrible, but I do hate it, is that I must have had a bad margarita at some point with salt on the rim when I was very young and threw it up. So when I taste salt, I immediately gag.
Ugh.
And I'm like, no.
See, I would have had to send it back.
Well,
because I don't like it when the granules get in the drink.
And
it's like,
they did.
And they always do.
Yeah. It was one of those things where I was getting self-conscious and I didn't want to be the old lady going, you know what, this is terrible. I don't want this. Give me something else.
Yeah, well, I guess you're not running back to Zocalo. How was the food?
Delicious.
Oh, good.
And the service was great. I mean, I thought it was a little bland, personally.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe they saw that we were old and said, you know what, better back up off the heat. They don't want
They don't need
they
too
probably
much
don't
salt.
want spicy.
It'll probably get in the way of their medication.
Yeah. Oh, God, I just... Stephanie, I swear to God. And I'm like, I didn't want to get up and leave or anything, but I'm like...
But there can be assholes at any age, by the way.
I think so, too.
I had bad service regardless
I think
that.
So, too. I don't think it had to do with us being old. I just think he was just, I don't know, whatever. But, I mean, I immediately didn't like him. But I'm like, you're never getting married, I can tell. Ever.
I'm going to come back to this Zocalo in 10 years and you're still going to be here.
I'm like, oh, look who's here, Joseph.
Just baldered.
Hello, Darren. How are you? Nice to see you. Notice you're wearing glasses now. How's that apartment?
Right.
At the ripe age of 50. Dick.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
God.
Well, if you're a server and you're listening, just
now you know. Tips are essential at this point in our life.
Yeah, especially with when you have money.
God. Anyway, at the airing of this episode, I'm sure things will have changed. But at the time that we were recording this episode, the Gabby Petito case, if you're not following it...
God, who isn't?
Google
it's literally on everything.
Go on TikTok, go on Twitter. So basically, we don't need to give the rundown of what it is because everybody is pretty much obsessed with it at this point. But what I'm so fascinated. I have so many thoughts on this whole thing because, first of all, I guess he's on the run.
Either he's on the run or he is going to kill himself or has killed himself.
Brian Laundrie is the boyfriend.
It would not surprise me if he is one of those ones that will kill himself, which is really would piss me off.
Yeah, so the gut reaction, I think, in general, is he killed her.
Well, duh.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
Absolutely.
apparent.
Especially with the body cam video that just came out of the officer that pulled them over.
That was horrifying.
It was horrifying. And the fact that just a citizen, a normal person, saw him slap the shit out of her.
Yep.
And called 911.
And then there was and then they all denied it. And it's like, well, but we have a witness to it. And I thought law enforcement had a responsibility to arrest even if they both don't want to press charge. I guess it depends on where you are.
Well, I mean, somebody has to admit that there was hitting.
And neither one would admit it.
And neither of them would.
The frustration...
This happens so much. It's so
It happens all the time. I think the frustration that I am seeing online... first of all, every woman in America is a true crime junkie. I don't know too many who aren't. Whether it's a podcast or a shows or whatever. I mean, we're all true crime.
Now we have whole channels dedicated to it.
We have multiple. There's a podcast genre of true crime,
right?
From every angle, and they go to the files and they do new stuff. I'm listening to this one podcast called Vanished, where they talk about people who are just missing.
Oh, God.
Just up and missing.
Yeah.
And they go through the backstory. They interview the family.
It's so frustrating.
And it's frustrating. And then if they find them, they'll do an update, which I always appreciate.
Oh, my God.
Because sometimes they're alive, but mostly they're not. And so
the ones that I'm following are, the big stories that people know about.
Sure.
The children mostly.
Right. And
or adults. I mean, it's just both.
It's a variety. So with that happening, it seems to me that the reason that predominantly women are so invested in this is that it is really common.
Yeah.
She's 22,
I know.
which I can't even with it.
And she's an influencer of some sort.
She was trying to be an influencer on Instagram, and I don't know if she was super successful yet, but it was like her goal.
Yeah.
And that this is just
she had some followers. I mean,
she did
of a
obviously.
magnitude. Yeah, she's no Kim Kardashian, but I mean,
she was definitely on her way.
Yeah,
she was up and coming. I guess is the thing, but. What's frustrating a lot of people is like, why isn't he arrested? Why is he able to just be free? And it's like, because he hasn't, first of all, as of this recording, they haven't even confirmed that they found her yet.
Yeah, they know
it's her, but they can't officially do it until they do some work.
Well, what I didn't know.
They haven't even confirmed that it's homicide yet.
Right.
And that's why he's not.
Her autopsy is scheduled for today, the day we're recording.
The 21st.
Right. And I think what's important to remember is that they were gone since August.
Yeah.
He came back on the 1st of September, and she had already been missing, according to her family, for about 10 or 11 days.
They reported her missing on 9/11.
Okay.
But they also, the mother was like, the last 3 texts I got from her, I know they were not her. And so she could have been gone for almost a month.
Right. So the thing is
not a month,
and the body was found in Teton in Wyoming National Park, which is a huge forest.
Yes.
And you can only imagine what that a dead body would not fare well, especially after that long of a time.
That's
so
right.
It's not like they found a full human.
Just a person
that
laying
like
there
her.
sleeping.
Yes.
Right. So,
I mean, it's morbid to think about, but that's just the truth of the matter.
With all of that being said, he is currently missing. I think they're going to find him. I don't think he's going to kill himself. I think he's far too narcissistic.
Right.
And
they usually are, but you know what? A lot of these people are so narcissistic and so selfish
that they'll get rid of it.
That they would rather kill themselves than let law enforcement catch them, or
that's true, or give anybody the satisfaction.
Yes.
So,
but not all of them are like that.
No, but what I'm finding fascinating is how quickly people are willing to say, well, he's guilty, number one. Number two, why isn't he arrested? Why is he
dumb?
Well, it's dumb because we live in a world with many, many laws, and if they fuck it up, he'll go free anyway.
Absolutely.
You can't do that.
And I'm sorry, but they just found her body
A day ago.
I mean, did they think she was dead? Did they suspect that she was dead? Yes, absolutely. But they had no proof.
That's right.
And they were investigating it. I mean, that's what you do.
So that's what's been frustrating, I think, probably for law enforcement and family, is that everybody has a theory, everybody has an opinion, and it's going insane. And so I'm watching this, and I'm just like, I've seen all the TikToks, I've read the forums and Reddit. And
I can barely read them because people are so dumb.
The conspiracy theories are unbelievable. It's an unbelievable thing. That's what's happening with this case. Is like the obsession is insane, and it's like I don't know what that was. I think it just hit perfectly. Like I think the timing of everything of this story hit where everybody there must have been some weird lull where there was an opportunity to focus on this. And if this guy is truly like off the grid, he has no idea.
He's not off the grid. I think his parents are helping him.
That's what everybody thinks. And I think
at this point now that the FBI is literally in their faces every minute. I think
they probably told them.
Maybe.
And they may not have known what they were helping him with initially.
What they did is, and I thought this was pretty smart of the FBI, and not that, of course, the FBI is brilliant, but I mean, they told them they had a warrant for their home, which they did, and they put them inside an FBI van and said, you sit in this van while we go and do the search. Well, the van was rigged with cameras and recording devices.
Of course.
And they were in there for over an hour.
And so they were talking all kinds of shit.
Right. Well, of course, the FBI is not going to come out and say that.
Of course not.
But we know that,
Well, I think that the FBI knows exactly where he is, personally. I think they know where he is.
I don't know. I mean, I think he's a person of an interest right now, and if they did know where he was, they would have the right to bring him in for questioning.
Yeah, unless they want to wait.
And I don't think that, I don't know.
I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, the only reason why I don't know about that is because I know that they would not like to give him the opportunity to get away.
I mean, the rumor is that he's heading towards Mexico. Don't tell me where that came from. That's some fool.
Well, I mean, even if it is true, everybody goes to Mexico.
You get striking.
And Mexico doesn't give a fuck. If they find you, they'll gladly hand your ass over.
Yeah, they're like, we don't need any more Americans here.
No. Here, have your fucking criminal. Take him.
Yeah, we don't want him. It's not Canada, dude.
They don't care. Yeah.
So,
you're not safe in Mexico, and everybody goes there from the United States. You're going to get recognized unless you're living in a fucking, cave.
He looks not Mexican.
He's about as white as they come.
I mean, literally.
And his face is on every national news media everywhere.
So what's interesting now is that the inevitable recognition that this is a white girl, and now it's like, well, this doesn't happen when a black girl goes missing. This doesn't happen when an indigenous person goes missing. What's the obsession with white girls, and why do they get so much coverage versus when black girls or indigenous women go missing? And I'm like, valid, but I don't think you need to dice it up into little groups. I think it's women, period.
I think it's
missing.
Women. Yeah, I do.
When women go missing.
And I think the circumstances in this particular case are compelling for anyone.
They are compelling.
So regardless if this was a black couple or whatever couple, for me, I would be equally as interested. I'd be like, God, how horrible would it be to know that there were witnesses and a police officer involved before she was murdered?
Right?
All of that would be like, oh my God,
In fact, if we even want to walk down that road, if somebody saw a couple of color in a physical altercation and 911 was called, fool would have been arrested.
Somebody would go. That's true.
He would have been in jail.
You're absolutely right.
Because that's just unfortunately the reality of it. And so, and then if it was a Latina couple, or if it was
it wouldn't have been, nothing would have been glossed over so easily.
No. In fact, they would have still found her. And the difference would probably be whoever her boyfriend was would be already in custody.
Yeah.
The fact that he's white is really the issue. It's not her race. It's his.
That's true.
If you want to go down that road.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, it's true. It's a valid point.
And sorry, Florida, but I mean, you fucked up many, many notorious murder cases, and this might be another one.
God, I mean, I don't understand why there's so many things that happen there. Well, obviously he didn't kill her. Well, we don't really know where he killed her.
We don't.
Because he could have driven with her body. I mean, they were literally on a cross-country trip.
Across the country. She could have been anywhere. In fact, before they found her, I'm like, she could literally be anywhere. And how horrifying as her parents.
How amazing. I mean, I'm curious to know how they found her. I'm guessing phone pinging.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure they'll map it all together for everybody who's interested. But it seems to me that there was somebody in the park who had a webcam.
Saw the van.
And they saw the van.
Yeah.
And they turned it over to the FBI.
Yeah.
And then 900 yards later, there she was.
Right.
She
oh my
was
God.
that close
right?
to the van.
So he was there for one purpose.
Yeah, he dumped her off.
Right.
And then, they could have literally caught him sleeping or in the act or whatever, waiting till nightfall.
Yeah.
Who knows? And
Yeah, but who knew? It was unbeknownst to them. Nobody knew.
And then the discussion of, she could have been killed she could have died in the elements or whatever. It's like she was literally 900 yards away from literally society. Well, like, there were campgrounds.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, she could have walked unless he broke her legs, but even so, she could have been screaming for help and they would have hurt her.
No, not in
that
the forest.
wasn't it at all.
I think he killed her in the van.
I do too.
And then he had to figure out where he was going to dump
get rid of her.
And the easiest thing to do would be just to drive. But I know that, if you've never murdered somebody before, and most people haven't unless you're a serial killer,
right?
Your instinct is to get rid of it as fast as you can.
Right.
Because you don't want to get caught with the body.
That's correct.
And you're freaked out about what you did. And
one would hope.
You want to distance yourself and get back to...
Get away, get normal.
Right.
So what I found...
They'll figure it out. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, yeah. He said... they've probably...
He's a child. I mean, I'm not
22.
saying... Yeah, he's a kid. It's not like he had all this thoughtfully, meticulously planned.
My guess is, based on what everybody has been saying who knew them, is that this was a very volatile relationship.
Yeah.
Everyone knew it was bad. And like, I was talking to Mackenzie about this, and I said... I struggle with it because I know how hard it is to have an adult child who is making decisions that you don't agree with. Right. And I'm just talking in general terms.
Yeah.
It's like, she's 22, she's a baby. In the world, she's a baby. But these parents are like, she's 22, what are we going to tell her? No, don't do this, stop. Especially if she's resolute. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I said, and they were checking on her daily.
Yeah,
multiple times a day. And I said,
she texted or called every day.
I said, so the thing is that if he wasn't guilty of anything and she went missing, I mean, the first call should be to her parents, like, I can't find your daughter. I'm looking everywhere. I'm called the police.
He came home.
He just walked in the door. Yo, what's up? It's like, this is your girlfriend's van, by the way.
Yeah, right?
What's going on? And the thing is, and I said, but here's the thing. I have had experiences with my children where something really serious has happened, and I'm literally the last to know.
Well, I mean,
it's because... It just, the communication isn't there. And I said,
they don't want to disappoint you or,
Yeah. And so I'm just like, I don't ever want that.
Right.
It's like, I don't ever want you to feel like you can't tell me. Or it's like, well, it never even occurred to me to call you.
Well, I think he told his parents. I really do. Right. I think he told them, I don't know what version of the events he told them. I think he told them enough to where they knew their son was in trouble.
And they were going to be like,
and they were going to try to help him. I mean.
I heard the mom has ties to the DA.
I mean, nothing would surprise me.
No.
But, I mean, it's very difficult to convince even your friends, even people you know. You couldn't call a friend and be like, my son murdered someone. How can I get away with this? I'm sorry.
By law, they'd be like, bring him to me.
Right. I mean, they're not, I'm not saying that there's no corrupt law enforcement at any level. There absolutely is.
Yeah.
I just find that difficult to believe that you could lay that on someone, a professional, someone whose whole career.
You can't.
And that they're going to just be like, okay, let me help you cover this up. Are you fucking kidding me?
These parents were scrambling already.
Yeah.
And they probably gave him money, and I guess he abandoned a car on the side of the road, so he could potentially be on foot. I mean, there's all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So this case hit and is a culmination of the obsession we have with true crime and women being victims of killers or family members. And
if you've ever known anyone in a domestic violence situation,
that too.
It's literally like it's exactly what you're most afraid of,
and it does happen all the time.
Yeah,
so,
it's very true. Those are mine, but go ahead.
Oh, sorry, nope.
Yours are on your head.
Maybe I am old.
You're not old.
Maybe Darren had a point. God.
Darren's listening right now. Is like, yeah, bitch.
Like,
now what?
So I did not watch all of the Emmys. I watched some of the Emmys. And
I didn't watch any of it, to be honest with you.
I watched like the last 3 awards, and then I went online and I looked at as much red carpet as I could.
That's what I did, yeah. I love the red carpet. I don't know why. But we also had the Met Gala very recently, too.
Last week.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh my God, between the two.
It was great.
And they're very different looks.
I mean,
Met Gala is crazy.
The Met Gala is, you are encouraged to accept the assignment and be outrageous.
Absolutely.
Apparently, I was the only one who liked J-Lo at the Met Gala. Everyone hated what she wore. I thought she looked amazing. She was wearing all Ralph Lauren. She had a cowboy hat on, and she was wearing all brown. And I thought she looked fabulous. But apparently, everybody hated what she wore. I liked what she wore. But whatever. That was at the Met Gala, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, I
did not see her. She wasn't at the Emmys.
She wasn't?
No, why?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I thought that was just the place to be when you're an A-lister.
No, you have to be TV. I think it's predominantly, Emmys is television, so.
Oh, yeah. I had to remind myself.
I thought she looked good.
You know, there's a lot of this, the sequence. Yeah. The see-through sequence is like, and we did that. I'm sorry, I know you hate it, but Kim Kardashian did that look at the Met Gala.
Last year.
No, it wasn't last year. It was the year before. Yeah, 2 years ago.
This year she came as a shadow.
Oh my God. I'm so over it. What is she doing?
I don't know.
She did it at that, and she was at the Donda event wearing the same guy. I'm over that.
Okay, and by the way, the VMAs were also last week.
Maybe it was the VMAs.
VMAs, J-Lo look amazing.
She's the only one doing this sock head thing, by the way. It's not a trend.
I saw another person wearing it, and I go,
somebody else wore it?
Yeah, I saw somebody else with something like that on, and I go, why are we doing the BDSM hoods? Like, what is this?
I'm so confused.
This is like from the 70s when they did shit like this, right?
Get it.
Like, I didn't know this was a thing now. We're turning this into a thing? I'm like, I'm not wearing this. I'm never going to, I mean, am I going to go to a club in Vegas and see this?
No.
I don't think so. This is weird.
Well, the funny thing is, she wore that. Did she wear that at the Met Gala?
She looked like a shadow at the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Like she was literally head to toe black.
Yeah.
With like a drapey thing. And I'm like, okay, Connie is clearly back in your life. I don't know what's happening.
Oh my God.
I mean, I understand divorces are messy, but this?
Well, no, but I mean, that's my thing with him is he has always been, like, he is notoriously known for being really possessive of her. Yeah. And he has fired people left and right. Don't talk to my wife. Don't look at her if you're staff, you know, that kind of thing. And so now they're getting divorced. She was dressing back the way she used to, looking amazing. Yep. And now they're getting back together, quote unquote. And I'm like, okay, so cover her entire body, her hair, her face, everything, so that no one can look at her.
I wonder what that's saying.
It's just sick and weird.
And why is she
so
doing it?
Anyway, you know what? I was getting off on a tangent, but the sequence thing, the tight kind of nude, many celebs wore versions of that.
I thought her sister looked amazing.
Which one?
Kendall Jenner.
Kendall.
She is stunning.
Do you know she's like 6'2"? She's super tall.
She's so beautiful.
She's very beautiful.
She does not look like a Kardashian.
Well, no, she's a Jenner.
No, I know, but I'm just saying she doesn't. Well, her mom is a Kardashian, but I'm just saying she's so gorgeous and she's a beautiful face.
She's freaking. She's one of the highest paid models in the industry right now.
Absolutely. So anyway, as far as the Emmys go, I went through the red carpet and I went through several different, I went through Vanity Fair, I went through Hollywood, I went through all the different outlets to see different varieties of red carpet.
And I had a good one.
I hated 90% of the shit.
I did too. I'm like, what are we doing here today?
And there were so...
I mean, even the men. I was struggling to even find a man that looked amazing.
There was one gentleman, and I can't remember I think his last name is Camilo or something like that. He was amazing looking, and he was in a velvet, and he looked really good.
Oh, it wasn't a red velvet jacket, was it?
No, he was in all black velvet. He looked stunning.
Because there was a guy that was in a red velvet, and I'm like, no. What are you... No. William Macy did look okay. He wore... Dolce & Gabbana. It was this black suit. The thing I'm struggling with the men is I'm fine with whatever they choose to wear. If they want to go a little femme or if they want to wear a suit.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, if you're going to wear a suit, if you're going to wear a black suit, they're wearing like the long tie.
Yep.
What's up with that?
Long, skinny.
It looks so...
It's from the 80s.
It's dated and it looks too informal to me.
I think it's just because you and I grew up in the skinny tie era.
I guess.
And we just look at them and you're like, God, is it like woven? Remember the woven?
What did you think of your love, Kelly Cuoco?
Kelly Cuoco?
Yeah, Cuoco.
Kaylee Cuoco. Well, apparently Dayglow was a thing because she wasn't the only one.
I know
who wore neon.
I just thought it was ugly.
You know what? She's never been considered best dressed.
Yeah.
But I think the dress fit her like a glove.
Oh, it did, and she does have a really beautiful body. Yeah.
I thought that it was a little low on the boob, but I mean, then again, I can't wear anything like that, so maybe I'm a little jealous.
Anya Taylor-Joy was the other one that I kind of liked.
The blonde. Oh, she's from the Chess movie. Mm-hmm.
Yellow was really in this season for some reason,
and not everyone can wear it.
And I hate yellow. It makes me look like a walking death. Yeah, I could never.
I look like a fat big bird.
Yeah, the only person that I really absolutely thought was drop dead gorgeous was Catherine Zeta-Jones.
She's a classic.
She's so
classic.
Beautiful.
Okay, scroll back to
this.
Yes,
Nicole Byer.
I'm like, what are
you
hated it?
I hated it.
I thought she
looks like she's wearing lingerie.
I thought Kristen Siriano never screws up, and
No,
he
that's
dresses her
true.
body perfectly. And when you're working with a lot of fabric, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I mean,
that's true.
Listen,
that's true.
I've seen women who are on the larger side on the red carpet look like elephants because people are like, I hate this. I hate that you're so not size 0, and they dress them like shit. And I thought, look, if you're gonna own it. And the shape that her body had was beautiful, and it was art. It was art to me.
Yeah, some of the I
loved it.
There was a lot of I know that with these designers, it's always like they have to try to do something that's never been done before. Yeah. I mean, but some of it's just plain fucking ugly.
There was a lot of ruffles.
God, so many. And feathery ruffles and a variety of ruffles.
So I'm going through and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, vulva, clitoris, mud flaps. Like, what is with the vagina dresses? What is going on with the vagina dresses?
Were they supposed to be statement pieces?
I don't know, but Angela Bassett had a beautiful black dress on and a big hot pink ruffle that went from the shoulder all the way down.
Ruined the dress.
To the bottom of her dress. And I went, is this a hit or a miss? Because I'm hating this.
I hated it.
I'm like, it looks like the number 7. And then it also looks like a vagina lip.
I agree.
Why are we doing this?
I don't know. I really was not feeling it at all.
And I'm like, I'm either just really conservative and I don't understand fashion, or this is heinous. There was a couple, and I don't know who they are, wearing matching suits.
Oh, I saw them.
In satin. One was a leopard, or one was a tiger print, and the other one was like these, like, it looked like masking tape, black masking tape.
It was so ugly.
And I'm like, Sadie Hawkins, 1992. What the fuck? I'm like, why? I understand the VMAs getting a little outrageous, but this is the Emmys. Don't you want to look stunning?
I absolutely didn't understand the need to. Yeah, I mean,
I saw some of these women, and I'm like, you starved yourself for 2 weeks drinking paprika, apple cider pepper drinks to fit into this, and then look like this.
Yeah, these dresses are what, $20,000-$30,000 gowns.
You punish yourself. You are literally malnourished to get into these dresses, and this is what you chose?
Yeah.
No!
I can't believe you liked this for Nicole Byer. I mean, you're right that, because she's a heavier girl,
First of all, and I just love the way it flows on her.
It does look, yeah.
And look at her face and hair. She
does look amazing.
I mean,
maybe it's because I used to have a nightgown that looked like that. And I'm like, you know what? That looks like a purple nightgown I owned 20 years ago. I don't like, okay, Cecily Strong from SNL. She's wearing this black number. She looks pretty.
She's beautiful, but she looks like she has wet hair. I hate it.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I mean, there was always something, you know what I mean? Now, there were some beautiful people, for sure. There were some beautiful dresses.
Well, not everything was ugly, but I struggled as I was scrolling.
I just did not
to find. I thought Rita Wilson looked good, but she didn't look like she was going to the Emmys.
I thought Rita Wilson looked like shit. What kind of what is that necklace? And her legs look 2 inches.
Well, she's wearing Tom Ford, and
well, the I can't even speak. I caned even speak. I'm so disgusted.
Yeah, I like this look for Emma Corrin.
Yeah, Emma Corrin. I said
she looks like a condom.
I told her I put it on our Instagram stories. If you saw it, she was the one that looked like she was wearing claws and some weird hood. And I said, does she need assistance? Like, what's wrong with her? Does she need help?
Yeah, it was Chris Sullivan and Rachel Sullivan.
Chris and Rachel Sullivan? What? I mean, and she's obviously completely thin and starving.
Yeah.
And that's what you wear?
I know, right?
Like, that's my issue. It's like, if I'm going to starve myself and go down 2 dress sizes to get into something, I can't. Stephanie, A.D. Bryant, I don't know what you're doing. You are such a beautiful woman. What is this? You look like a doll left in the attic. Why?
This looks like something you'd find at a garage sale.
It's like, you look like
Simone Rocha. I don't know the designer, but
the designer is not the issue. It's the color. It's the way she's standing. It's like, stop.
I mean, of all the dresses she was likely sent to consider wearing, this is what she chose.
I would have rather.
This is the one. This is it.
I'm wearing this army green thing.
Yeah, there's William Macy. He's wearing Dolce & Gabbana.
He looks nice. You know,
I think he looked nice.
Okay, Stephanie, I know you love. We've discussed our love for Michael Douglas, but can we talk about his shoes? His soft, comfortable shoes.
Okay.
Like, what are we doing?
How old is he?
I don't care.
Honestly,
he can't wear black shiny shoes like everyone else.
I guess I didn't notice.
Love Anthony Bowen. I love Bowen.
Yeah, look how good Catherine looks.
She's gorgeous.
She's wearing Christina Ottaviano.
She's beautiful.
And Lorraine Schwartz diamonds, by the way. Those diamonds.
And you know what I loved about this, by the way? So she did Best Actor in a drama comedy series. She read the winner.
Is that her? Oh, she presented.
She presented. Mm-hmm. And what I love about it, because I told Dara, I said, well, she's here because she's going to be Morticia Addams next year, and she's going to be an amazing Morticia Addams.
She will
I cannot wait. So they're already starting the promotion. Why does she have to wear matronly arm sleeves?
Who? Kate Winslet?
Kate Winslet. Why does she always wear matronly arm sleeves? I hate the half sleeve.
Giorgio or Armani?
Armani's gorgeous, but she doesn't need the sleeve. It's like, let's add this because she feels
maybe
self-conscious.
she doesn't like. Yes, she doesn't like her upper arms.
It's fine.
Oh, so you know that you think the dress was made like without the sleeves.
It would have been stunning on her without sleeves.
Yeah.
But if she didn't want her upper arms to show, by the way, totally me.
Me too.
Get them down. Put these amazing long sleeves with really badass long cuffs and make it something else.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
I don't like that.
I didn't see the Jada Pinkett Smith and Will.
I didn't see them
but they
either.
Always wear something ugly, so I'm sure I didn't miss it.
They're miserable people. So.
Yeah, Therese P. Henson.
Oh God, she looks so good.
She did look good. One of the few dresses where I was like, okay, now that's fucking Emmy worthy.
I thought she looked hot. It was the first thing I saw, and I thought she looked amazing.
She's so beautiful.
She's a badass too, by the way. She don't put up with shit. I love her.
I love her too.
Okay. All right.
So yes, we had fun watching the red carpet and looking at the looks. That's
fun judging, and I hated everything.
I hated everything. Like 3 things. I really did think that Catherine Zeta-Jones, even though her dress was very simple,
so what?
I thought it was a good fit for her, and she was my favorite.
And whenever I watch these shows, I always go, wonder what I would wear, because they would look at me and go, well, honey, it's going to take twine and burlap to get you in anything even remotely fashionable.
Well, I mean, we were just talking about
because
Nicole
I'm short and I'm not size 0, so it's like, listen,
with these designers, they can make anybody look fab.
I have said I already know who my glam squad would be. I would have Siriano dress me because he can dress any woman's body. He understands women's bodies and how to make them look good. I've never seen a woman look like shit in a Siriano.
Okay.
Number 2, JV makeup. Jamie Greenberg is Kaylee Cuoco's makeup artist. 100% would have her do my face because I don't know how to do a natural look. I either go overboard and I look like a whore, or I look like I'm dying.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do the in between.
It's tough to pull it off. I would love to have glam just for the fun of it to see what I would look like.
If I could afford it, I would say, Miss Greenberg, I would like to come to LA and I would love to have you do my face for the day for just no big deal. I mean, she's a celebrity. She does she did Kristen Stewart's for the.
Well, you can't even get into a point with somebody like that. So what am I saying?
No, you can't. But if she did a contest, I would enter. I'd be like, I'll come to your she shed and you can do my makeup.
You know what? I would like to know who does Kris Jenner because she looks.
Well, it's her skin.
I mean, she looks amazing.
Her skin is amazing.
She just must have had work done recently because she looks another
puffy.
10 years younger. Yeah.
Oh, really? She doesn't look overdone?
Well, I think she's lost some weight. I think that's what did it to her. She usually doesn't give a shit because she looks pretty good and she's so fucking rich that she really doesn't give a shit.
She's a beautiful woman already.
She is a beautiful woman, but I think recently,
she's had a touch up.
With the ending of the show, she's been doing a lot of high fashion events. She was just in Paris and she did, New York Fashion Week, and obviously her daughter is everywhere.
Kendall, yes.
Yeah, and so she knows everyone. Yeah, and
yeah. What a horrible life to live.
It is. They all the designers send her outfits and all of that. So
God,
she looks amazing. But
can I just say, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, I am loving Megan Fox right now and everything she's doing.
I do too, but except for the fact that she's attached at the hip with Courtney and Travis.
Yeah, that is weird. But
they're milking it. They're writing it because they're getting so much press between the two of them.
Good. I mean, whatever. But and you know what I did the other day? I will tell you this: that if we were friends with Shauna Moakler and Travis Barker when they were married, and then when they split up.
Oh, wow.
I'd be Team Shauna.
Right?
100%.
Well, I think we all are.
I fucking love her. You know what I did the other day, Stephanie? I can't even believe I did this. I follow her on Instagram because I absolutely love her. She's so normal.
She's very normal.
She reminds me of someone like us.
Well, I'm wondering if
I watched her get ready for a birthday party on Instagram. I sat there for an hour watching
was it
her
an Instagram live,
putting on her makeup. She's talking about her hair. She's like, look at my hair. I had surgery because she had a mini facelift. And she's like, and I had surgery.
I bet she did.
I lost all my hair. So she's showing her how short her hair is. She goes, but it's growing back and I'm going to do all these things. And so people are asking her questions while she's getting ready, and she's like, she's like pulling out all of her stuff out of a bag because she's like, I just got home, so I'm pulling all of her. She's like, everything's messy. She goes, I use this, and she goes, you can get all of this at CVS. You do not need expensive makeup. You know, I do everything. So I'm watching her, and I'm like, I fucking love you.
Well, I'm gonna have to start following her. It's because I have been curious about her, and you know, I feel I have sympathy for her because
I do too.
One of the main reasons is because her children are not young anymore.
Oh, the kids that hate her are teenagers.
Well, they don't hate her.
They're 15 and 17.
Yeah, they don't hate her. They're the kids that she has with Travis Barker. I don't know if she has other kids.
She has one with I can't remember the boxer's name.
I know he's famous. It's a boxer, right?
Not Oscar De La Hoya.
Yes, it is Oscar De La Hoya.
Okay, yes. Yeah. She's fine with that one.
Yeah, so
she's 22.
I think what's happening is that the kids are enjoying the media that they're getting, the attention that their father's getting. Now he's like super famous, and he was always famous, but now he's like uber famous.
Well, and she's what I loved about it is she's reading all the questions. She's like, "Oh, hi, Mom," because her mom will step in and watch. Because her mom lives like on the East Coast or something, I think. And so she's like, "What are you saying?" She goes, "No, my children." She goes, "Thank you very much. I really appreciate that." She goes, "My children are fine." She goes, "They are, they are enjoying, their dad.
They're 15 minutes.
And it's fine." She's like, "No, I live in the Valley. And no, I'm not, she's very honest."
Yeah, I'm just hoping.
And she's just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, she's like, "Well, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." She goes, and I'm not going to talk about that. She goes, shockingly, nobody gives a shit. She's like, "I know you guys want this to be a thing." She goes, "I don't give a shit. I'm happy they're happy. I'm happy. I'm in a relationship too, by the way." Like, she's fine.
That's good.
And so she's like, "I am not blinking. I'm not giving you weird signs," because everybody always tries to read into everything. She goes, "Now I can't blink, apparently.
Because if I do,
you're going to think I think she's a whore, and I don't." God. And she's like that pissed. She's like, "Fuck off."
It's probably annoying as hell.
It is.
Well, because they're just making this thing a narrative in the media, and probably none of it is true. The thing I do hate is that Courtney is milking this and it pisses me off because Courtney hates being on TV.
I know. I don't know.
And has for years.
So
and
weird.
Now all of a sudden she's like, fucking she's going to be on every goddamn thing she can think to be on. And it's just annoying. I'm like, God. And so I'm really questioning, like, if this is going to last. There's rumors that they're engaged or they're looking to get married and all of that. And I'm like, is this really going to last? I mean, because something this fast and furious, I just feel like it's going to burn out.
Who knows? I don't know.
No, I feel you.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any awkward moments? Do you have an ugly and awkward moment of the week? Because it's time for our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
I wish, God. Do I?
I have one. The other day, I was in the kitchen, and as I said, our daughter had a party, and so I'm like, I don't want people to think we're totally gross, so I'm going to clean. And so I was cleaning the kitchen, and I was really clumsy that day for some reason, and
you were going to start your period.
Exactly, and I didn't know because I had been on a dry spell. So I picked up a fork to put into the sink, and it slipped out of my hand as if I had paralysis. It came out of my hand.
Like that, Jamie. You sound like me.
And it landed, and I poked my toe, my big toe,
I've done that.
with the tines. It landed perfectly. And at first when it hit, I was like, "Ow, that was weird." And I looked down, I'm like, "Ow!" And it wouldn't stop hurting. And it hurt really bad. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, did I poke myself? I fucking poked myself. My toe is black.
Oh my God.
Because it was a solid metal fork. And it was like,
yeah. I believe you 100%.
I looked down and I go, what the hell did I do to myself? I'm like, oh, that's right. I forked myself.
Both of my big toes on my right and my left foot, I lost the toenail at the same damn time because I had smashed them both independently. Not at the same time. But I had dropped something on each toe, prospectively, on a different day, so hard.
Oh my God.
That they came off one way or another. And that's never happened to me before, by the way.
It's scary.
Jerry's like, that's going to fall off. I'm like, no, it's not.
What are you talking about?
I'm like, every ounce of my body has had a bruise on it before.
Yeah.
it's not unusual for me to have a bruise on my toe.
Did it come off?
Because it was black.
I would have gotten scared.
That's why I haven't had a pedicure in 3 months.
I would have been terrified.
She kept telling me, she's like, look, does it hurt? I'm like, no, it doesn't hurt now. I mean, it's growing back. And she's like, this is my nail lady. Come in and I'll put a fake, like an acrylic tip on it.
Oh, so you can wear flip-flops.
I can't bring myself to do it. Because I just don't want them looking at it and being like, ew.
You know what? That's fair. I wouldn't either.
So I'm like, you know what? It's going to get to a certain point to where it starts to resemble a toenail again, and then I'll go. But it's been all summer.
Oh my God.
So I can't wear high heels. I've been looking like a slob at work every day.
You know what? And I even know that when you're at home, the last thing you want, you probably wear socks at home too.
I do.
I knew it.
Most of the time. Not all the time. I mean, when you work, and I get up at 6, I get home at 6:30,
right.
6:30. So when you've been gone that many hours of the day and you've had shoes on the last thing, you don't give a fuck when you walk in that door. I am stripping to the bare minimum.
Well, okay, so my fork and your two, you have no awkward moment. Okay, that's fine.
Well, I probably do, but
it's fine. You'll remember next time.
Yeah, I'm generally awkward pretty much constantly.
Daily. I know.
Yeah, I asked this girl that I don't even know the other day. I don't even barely know her, and she's painfully shy.
Oh God, what did you do to her?
I just said, I'm like, she was talking to a friend of mine on the phone inside the office, like another person that we both work with, and he sits downstairs, and so she was doing overtime and he was doing overtime, and they were using their desk phones to chat while they were working, and I was sitting at the desk next to her because my shift ends later than most. And she hung up, and I'm like, how is he? Because he's a friend of mine, too. And she's like, oh, he's good. I'm like, I didn't know you guys were friends. She's like, yeah, we used to be. I'm like, is he single? Because, I'm like, he's kind of cute, and you would be. And she's single.
Oh.
And she's like, no, he's so married and has kids and everything.
What? Oh.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't. I'm like, you know what? I guess I did know that, but I forgot. I go, well, what is your type? I'm like, I'm going to
What are you doing? What are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. And she's just looking at me like, why are you asking me these really personal questions?
Why are you suddenly becoming a matchmaker?
So then I'm
matchmaker, make me a match. What the fuck are you doing? Did she get this wide-eyed look like, who are you and why are you
so rather than abort the mission, I just dig right in. I'm like, are you on Tinder? What is what was your last boyfriend like? So she's like, well, I don't really think I have a type. And she was very polite, and she never answered any of my questions. And then as I'm leaving, I'm like, you know what? For all I know, she's a lesbian. I don't even know if she likes guys. I'm like, you idiot! I was like, God. I was trying to be polite and make conversation, and it just turned into my typical awkward weirdness.
I do that too, though. I start asking really unusual questions that is no one's business.
It was none of my damn business.
I do that too. Although it is interesting what I will get out of people because they're so taken aback by.
Right.
They're just like, oh, well, once, I did have a twin who died. It's interesting that you may ask that. Let me tell you of my trauma. While we're standing in line at the grocery store. I mean, it happens all the time. I don't understand how we get it, how we do it, but we do it.
Oh my God, so weird.
I asked a question one day. I was like, why are you asking that? And I'm like, well, I was genuinely curious. He's like, I don't think you should ask him that. And I'm like, why? He's like, well, I don't know. It just seems inappropriate.
Yes.
I'm like,
hello.
Oh, okay.
Well, have we met? My name is Jamie Inappropriate Minor.
I didn't know.
Right?
Pardon me. Excuse me.
Well, excuse me.
I started talking politics with a server once. I don't know.
Oh, God.
It was weird. I don't get it. He's like, well, China. I'm like, oh, well, you're going beyond my pay grade. I only know about the United States. I mean, some things, but not all things.
What is wrong with us?
I don't know. Anyway. All right, Ugg. I think it's time to call it.
I agree.
Thank you for supporting us through Lumi, and I hope you're following us on our social media platforms. Stephanie's a little shy when it comes to social media, but she is there and sees our things. So please follow us and see what awkward shit we do, because we do a lot of awkward shit on social media.
Indeed.
So
that's why I don't post a lot.
Right. You're like, I have to save myself.
I have to avoid humiliation wherever possible, because just existing is generally embarrassing.
It's true. All right, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.